How was your first day, working boy?
Great, Dad. I made a lot of money.
Goody, 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 goody. Let me see.
Well, that's the best part. I gave it all to a homeless man.
What?
He gave me something for the money, so I kind of helped him out by letting him sell me some stuff.
Oh, well, I guess that's okay. As long as you can use whatever he gives you.
Oh, I'm gonna go use it right now.
Good boy, son. Good boy.
Doop-de-doop-de-doo-doop.
What do you suppose he's going upstairs to use exactly?
This episode is going to be a show analysis on a very, very interesting show that for some reason I am fully invested in. But this show was too controversial for Adult Swim. Moral Orel. And the dark, twisted irony that had many people impressed with the way it was conveyed. The very intentional allegorical message was to make people feel uncomfortable about realities that some tend to avoid due to the pressure of blending in with the majority of society. Some will argue the show is pure blasphemy. Others will argue it's the best show ever created. With such polarizing feedback and a specific problematic episode that eventually led to its demise, this cartoon show is the perfect show to do a philosophical analysis on satire versus religion. The show Moral Orel centers the town of Moralton, and the implications of morality as a theme wasn't subtle, but this town is full of religious hypocrisy. Most residents in this area are Christian, but ironically are very cynical and judgmental to others. Majority never miss church on Sunday, as well as Reverend Putty's sermons. But even the Reverend is very flawed himself. The animation fixates on Orel Puppington, as the animation makes the characters look like puppets. So there's Orel and his father Clay, his mom Bloberta, and his brother Sheepy. In most of the episodes, Orel and his family would go to church. Orel would misinterpret the overall message of the Reverend's sermon, and he would then act out in ways that unintentionally cause mass chaos in the entire town. Orel's character, however, can be described as curious, excited, and naive. Clay, who is his father on the show, can be described as pretentious, abusive, and oh yeah, he's also an alcoholic. Orel looks up to his dad though. But as the show unfolds, you start to notice his rose-colored glasses come off. Each season, Orel's older and more aware of the things he didn't see before. That's what makes this show so interesting. Most episodes would end with Orel's dad disciplining him for his reckless behavior by giving him the belt, then a life lesson in the study. But his lessons to his son wouldn't be exactly the type of message you would expect him to convey. For example, there is an episode where Orel misinterprets the Reverend's sermon. He assumes that dead people are sinners as they have rejected God's gift of life. So then he decides to get the Necronomicon book of the damned to resurrect a dead person, which then causes a mass zombie apocalypse. Instead of his father addressing the obvious problem with the situation, he mentions that the zombies were a problem because they were exposed. He states because of their disgusting exposed bodies. That's why they were naked. Not because of the obvious problem that they were literally eating people. Orel's father, Clay, on top of being abusive, he is also a hypocrite, as he has a secret relationship with the school's gym teacher. But publicly, he of course opposes homosexuality. It is later revealed that his dad is the mayor, which is probably why Orel gets away with so much.
That kid gets more action than I do.
I am still weaning him, Clay.
Blaberta, he's 7. He should not be using your milk to wash down his meatloaf, which I pay for by working that stinking dead-end job.
But when you really dive into the dynamics of the show, you clearly see why it was so controversial yet so liked. And honestly, I think that's what made it so extraordinary, because it really makes you appreciate irony and satire in a way that wasn't conveyed before. So it's very different from probably any other show you've ever seen. And if it sounds interesting enough to you, again, Adult Swim, I'm pretty sure there's some way to watch it. Essentially, Orel was so controversial that it was canceled, yet so thought-provoking that there are still people talking about it on the internet today. Many people are arguing that Rick and Morty is way more controversial than Orel, but I love that show, so we're not even gonna get into that.
Gee, Joe completely changed the meaning of everything I wrote.
Gosh, Orel, that's too bad.
Yeah, I guess sometimes certain things get misinterpreted.
Like what?
Not sure.
On repeat.